Well, hello everybody. How are we today? My hair just seems to want to curl on its own today. Been out and about celebrating Turkey Day today. Did you guys celebrate Thanksgiving today and share many blessings with one another? I sure did. Had a wonderful time. And my Lions won. Yay! Once a Detroit fan, always a Detroit fan, right? No matter where we live, right? Go Lions, eat 'em up, Lions. That's what I was screaming today. Anyway, speaking of the Lions, when I was little, my parents got divorced when I was 9. But there's a whole, I'm trying to keep the stories straight. But since the Lions won today, back when I was a little girl, the Detroit Lions played at the Pontiac Silverdome. Whoop, whoop. Way to go, Lions. And one year, they played against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And back then, and I don't know, because I couldn't watch the game because of where we were at, but I was watching it. Tubi has this NFL Live where they rotate all the games. So that's how I'm keeping up with my Lions. And anyway, when we went there, John Madden would take a 3-legged or 4-legged or 6-legged. Somehow he got enough turkey legs to split, to carve the multi. And I'm sure they added extra legs to that turkey when I was a kid. But we went several Thanksgivings in a row to the Lions games. And I was thinking of my family today, especially my little brother, Fudd, aka Chad. So if you hear Fudd or Chad, remember he's the same person. We'd go to this Lions game, and they were playing back. I can't remember how long ago it was. He was just little. He was 8 or 9, and he had gotten for Christmas, because this was when Barry Sanders was playing. Woohoo! Way to go, Barry! Ooh, ooh, ooh. So anyway, we'd go to the Silverdome. And we're sitting there, and for Halloween, all my brother wanted to do was be Barry Sanders for Halloween. So my mom got him the helmet, the shoulder pads, the whole jersey, the pants even, and cleats. So here the 7, 8-year-old boy is going around for Halloween as Barry Sanders. And when he found out that we were going to the Thanksgiving game, he wore his whole Detroit Lions Halloween costume. And so we got in there and we sat behind the uprights. I guess it's this way. And it was an awesome game. Well, during halftime, Fudd wanted to go down there and see the guys. And so he'd come down, he'd get down there and he'd stood over there. And here he is. I think he was the only child in our section that was dressed as Barry Sanders from helmet to toe. And so all of a sudden, the guys, the players are, sorry, my hand's getting in the way, but they're high-fiving him all the way back down through the tunnel. And he came back and he's like, Mama, I got high-fived. I got high-fived by Barry Sanders. And he started naming off the other players and stuff. And even some of the Pittsburgh Steelers players were high-fiving him because he looked the part. He had number 20 on his jersey, the whole thing. So then we watched the game and we're rooting and hooping and hollering. And all of a sudden, my mom whispers to us and says, guess who else is here? And I'm like, who? Aunt Joanne and her girls. But you know what? They're sitting way up in the balcony. They don't got a good view. And I was like, oh, wow. Whoop, whoop. So I have to shout out to my cousins and say, the Lions beat the Steelers. Na, 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 na. I shouldn't pick on my cousins or the Steelers. But anyway, after the game, my little brother, my brother Scott, and I waddled down there because my mom's like, someone older's got to go down with him. So myself and my 2 younger brothers went down. And we're standing by the uprights. And they're going through the tunnel. And, of course, here's my brother Fudd going, yay, woo, 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 way to go, Lions! And he's screaming and hollering. And all of a sudden, And I don't know if they still wear them today, so I'm probably going to misspoke, but back then they wore sweatbands around their wrist and around their head. All of a sudden, Barry Sanders looks up at my brother and goes, boom, and he flings him his headband. So he's wearing that. And then all of a sudden, every player started flinging wristbands and sweatbands at my brothers and all the other kids. By this time, about 20 other kids joined us. And all the players are flinging their Detroit Lions bands. You know, the sweatbands, the headbands, the wristlet bands. And he came home with probably half a dozen or more, but he did share with a couple of kids that didn't get any on the way back. And my mom said, okay, we're going to go to a restaurant and eat. We got out the parking lot and we couldn't get out of the parking lot. And there was a restaurant kitty corner from, it's probably not even there any more than the Pontiac Silverdome. I don't even know what the Pontiac Silverdome is still doing now. And we got over there and we went to this restaurant. It cost my mom an arm and a leg to feed 5 kids and herself. I think my stepdad and his boys came too, so there were 7 kids and 2 adults. 9 people. I'm sure it was a pretty penny back then. But that was my fondest memory with my brother, you know, and I smile and I think about my little brother often, and I can't help but be a Lions fan, just mostly because of that. And the Steelers and the Miami Dolphins, I have to throw this in, have gotten to my heart only because my church members' grandsons, the Pouncey twins, play in the NFL. They may be retired by now, but they play. One plays for Pittsburgh Steelers and one plays for Miami Dolphins. Great young twins. You know, their grandma was so proud of her boys, and so was Grandpa. And anyway, they were great kids, and Grandpa was so proud. And their grandpa was a racetrack driver. I had great talking to Grandpa, and sat with their grandma during church an awful lot. It was awesome to hear about the boys. And so every day after church, when I'd see Grandpa would come pick up Grandma from church because Grandma didn't drive. And so I talked to him and say, how did the boys do today? That's how I kept up with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins when they played. But I'm always going to be a Lions fan, bad, good, or ugly, you know, win or lose. But I am so grateful God is blessing our teams, and hopefully he's keeping all the players, no matter what team they're on, in high spirits, and is blessing them, that somehow, some way, when they play, they give honor and glory to God. And after that, because that restaurant going the next year, my mama went and bought probably the tiniest motorhome I'd ever seen in my entire life. 2 days before Thanksgiving, on Tuesday, she cooked turkeys and she made pies and she made stuffing and green bean casserole and had the cranberry sauce and the whole thing. And I went down and I went in her china cabinet and I pulled out her fancy plates. This was before I realized we were going in a motorhome, because we were cooking Tuesday, because, you know, you always got to start cooking a little early before Thanksgiving, right? So I started pulling these out to put, you know, this is just the cup saucer, you know, for your coffee cup or for your pumpkin pie or dessert or whatever, you know, right? And I pulled these out and she goes, oh, no, we're not taking those. We're not. She goes, no, because we're not eating here. We're going to the Lions game. I was like, woohoo! Yeah! We had it as a tradition for probably about 6-7 years, because by that time, as the kids got older, I went off to college. My brother got married. My sister got married. My younger brothers, I don't know if Mom took them for a couple more years, But it all came to a stop in 91 for sure, because my brother was killed January 5th of 1991, my brother Fudd. And I don't mean that as a bad thing, because death, unfortunately, is a sad thing, but it unfortunately does happen. But I have so many fond memories of my little brothers. I lost both of them. I lost my brother Chad on January 5th of 1991, and I lost my brother Scott October 3rd of 1998, 7 years apart. So I will be talking about them in present tense, but they are past. And unfortunately, my mama passed away. And so I don't mean to bring this down, because I know my mom and my brothers are resting till Jesus comes. And I'm very grateful for that. But this is why I have her Avon dishes. And I know there's a name to them, but I've always called them the Avon dishes. So as Thanksgiving comes to an end, I'm going to go try to find the highlights of the game. I do know they won, the Lions won 23-20 against the Bears. The Bears were always taboo subject. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little story today. And I hope and pray to God that you give a blessing and give honor and glory to God and thank Him for another year of Thanksgiving. And here's I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to, the Cool Whip's kind of, it's time to eat it. But I'm going to put it in the refrigerator so the Cool Whip doesn't get all slide off. But my husband and I are going to enjoy our pumpkin pie and enjoy the evening. May God continue to bless you and give you a special blessing and a thankful and blessed Thanksgiving, what's left of it, and a blessed and thankful rest of this year. We'll talking to you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.